Government company students, government companies. Today's our topic will be government company. Good morning to all of you. I welcome you all for the online class of business studies. Today I will be going to explain you the third part of the private public company chapter, that is the government company, the undertaking which is of the government, that is the government company. Government company is very easy as compared to other two parts of the company of the government student. Government company means any company in which at least 51% share of the paid up share capital is held by the central or state government or partially by central state government are known as government companies. The government companies are governed and ruled by the provision of Companies Act 1956 like any other registered companies. For example, Steel Authority of India, State Trading Corporation, Hindustan Machine Tools, etc. Features of government company are bail. Registration. The government company can incorporated under the Companies Act 1956. All the provision of Companies Act are applicable on a government company. So government company student, it is that company which is made in those, all those companies of our country where the 51% share are paid up share capital is of the government is known as government company. Though it is the 49% is of the private sector, then also the company will be considered as a semi-government company only. For example, Steel Authority of India, State Trading Corporation, Hindustan Machine Tools, etc. Features of government company or bail. When we talk registration, as I already read the line, it needs the registration under the Companies Act 1956. The Companies Act are applicable on the government company also. Ownership, mainly has the government company solely or partially owned by the government only, so it is known as government companies. The share capital of this company is owned by the government of the India in the same of name of the president. Management, when we talk about the management, the government company is managed by the board of the directors who are nominated by the government and as other stakeholders. The government has the authority to appoint majority of the shareholder directors. Separate legal entity, the government company has a separate legal entity. It can buy and sell the same property in its own name. It can enter into a contract or in its own name, so that is the separate legal entity. It is having its separate existence as Steel Authority of India. The government word is not utilized, so it is having its separate legal existence, though it is of the government. Minister control, a government country, a company is subject to minister control as it is controlled and managed by the government itself. The concerned ministry makes appointments of directors. The ministry may issue directors and direction and can assume all the overall supervision of the undertakings. Financial autonomy, the government company enjoys borrowings from the powers as it is having the government name, so it get easy loan from the various authorities, bank, financial institution. It can raise capital by issue of various securities. Even if they can issue the shares which can people have the faith on the government company, so they can purchase the shares of the company, so that way also they can increase the financial capacity of the company. They are free to use its revenue for the growth and expansion of the company. Efficient staff, as we say, the government company, the people are known as civil agents. They are selected from the written and other exams which are conducted by the government. A long procedure is required to select the people for the government company. So has we say that particular staff of the government company are efficient because they are qualified the exam for attaining the post. Accountability, the government companies are accountable to the ministry or body concerned. Its annual report is presented and discussed in the parliament or state assembly, so they are accountable because they have to publish the annual general report before the meeting, so that they can make the people and the government known about the working of the government company. Merits advantages of government company, when we see the main advantages of government company are as follows. Administrative autonomy, the government company is relatively free from the government and political interference. It can function freely and smoothly under the general vigilance of the government. Suitable changes can be introduced whenever needed within the provision of Companies Act. Greater flexibility, the government companies manage finance and audited just as any other private sector company. It can therefore be secure greater flexibility, freedom of operation and quickness of action is running the enterprise. So there is a greater flexibility in the government companies, efficient staff. The government companies can have their own rules and regulations regarding their equipment and remuneration of employees. So there can appoint professionals and specialized people also for getting more expert work for the services. So that way they can make the efficient staff to be appointed. Collaboration. The government companies can avail and accommodate managerial skill, technical know-how, or expertise of the private enterprise by conveniently collaborating with it. So these are the four advantages. Collaboration means mixing up with other companies and doing the work. So some of the issues, some of the cases like dam construction, road construction work of the government, they mix up the private sector also for the doing the work. So there we have the advantages of government company. Administrative autonomy is there, greater flexibility is there because they can grow up as soon as possible. Their financial capacity is good, their auditing, managing, and everything is just going in a smooth way. Because of that, their flexibility, great flexibility is there. Efficient staff they can hire by paying more salary to them. Collaboration they can do if needed with the private sector. Demerit, disadvantages of government company. The major drawbacks of government company are as follows. Very first, autonomy on paper only. All the works of the government company has to be shown in the paper. Any small work also it must be in the paperwork. So it is a drawback of government company because delay in decisions takes place when all the things has to be passed from one person to another person through the paper permissions. The freedom and flexibility offered to government companies true theoretically only. In actual practice, the government being the major shareholder discuss the terms and get the things done in its own way. Political interference, as it is taken by the as it is of the government companies. So political interference is sure, but though it is written it is not there. As a government company formed, the no interference is there, but as the annual reports is published in the government parliamentary, so government companies are treated as the personal property of ministers. The interference of ministers is frequent. The operational policies of the government companies are formed according to the whims and fancies of the ministers. Board backed with government representatives. The board of directors is from government companies appointed by the government. So these directors always try to please the government rather than improving efficiency of the government company. Suitability, the government company is a suitable form of organization where government wants to control a company in the private sector without nationalization. They can have the government company. Where government wants to go for a collaboration with private enterprises, where the project require government planning and fund, there you can have the government companies. But so these are the drawbacks and these are the advantages of government companies. So these were the three sectors which comes in the public sector, which is undertaken by the government. Now changing role of public sector students. Why the need of what was the role played by the public sector and how it has need improvement and changes. The public sector has been playing a very vital role in the economic development of the country. Has many of the infrastructure which is developed in our country for its economic development, it is made by the government. Despite their impressive role, public enterprise in India suffer from several problems such as poor project planning, excessive overburdens, overstaffing, underutilization capacity, inefficiency, etc. To overcome from these problems and to bring improvement in the efficiency level of the public sector, some steps are taken by the government. That is, although the performance of public sector enterprise is not remarkable, but then also government cannot ignore the development of public sector enterprise, because these enterprise have to overcome the social problems of poverty, unemployment, imbalances, regional growth, etc. Rational or public sector reasons for having public sector. Rational or reasons for giving importance of public sector are as given below. For the first, infrastructure. The infrastructure consists of services like transportation, communication, irrigation, etc. So infrastructure is considered as the backbone of the economic growth. The private sector hesitate to invest in the infrastructure due to huge capital and delayed profit. So government set up various public sector enterprise to undertake the task of developing infrastructure of our country. Balanced regional development. The private sector enterprise hesitate to set up the industry in such remote areas where infrastructure is not developed. So government companies step out to make the development of this area by setting up the industry as well as developing the infrastructure of that particular places, so that places also get importance and their economic development will be equally done with other parts of the state which is already developed, so that the people of that area also got opportunity to work and this area can also be developed. Economics of scale. When we talk about economics of scale, where large scale industries are required to be set up, this requires huge capital, and public sector is needed to set up step it to take the advantage of economics of scale. Electric power plants, petroleum, etc. are example of large scale industry which is of the public sector. Private sector generally, because of huge capital investment, hesitate to start the business of this particular level. This industry require larger space to function economically, which was only possible with government resources and large scale production. Check over consideration of economic power. In private sector, very few business houses are willing to invest in heavy industries. As a result, wealth gets restricted in few hands and monopolistic activities are encouraged. The public sector can invest in heavy sector, and thus income does not go in a few hands of private sector, but it gets shared by a large number of employees and workers. This prevents concentration of wealth in private sector. Import substitute. The government of India is setting up public sector enterprises for production of capital goods which were being imported earlier. These enterprises are making up self-reliant and receiving huge amount of foreign exchange. These enterprises are also producing export goods on large scale to earn more foreign exchange. So these are the import substitutes written. Basically the goods which is needed to be imported from a foreign country because it is not produced in our country. Now government is trying to produce those goods in our own country so that our country people will get benefited from our own country, and our economic development will also not get disturbed. It will increase as our investment will be invested in our own country instead of investing in foreign countries. Defense requirement. Defense is the most important sensitive department of every countries. Okay, so for its development also, who must be come forward, that is the government. So government cannot depend upon private sector for supply of equipment to defense. The government invests in public sector to ensure smooth supply of goods and services needed by the defense forces of the country. Employment. When we talk about employment, public sector enterprises are providing employment opportunities to millions of people. These enterprises prefer to use labor-intensive technique and create more and more jobs, thereby increasing per capita income. Government can also nationalizing certain sick units of private sector so that employees working in this sector do not lose their jobs. So employment opportunities also created by the public sector. Social utilities. Private sectors are keen to set up industries and business which will bring quick profit as well. Quick profit. The private sector necessary to invest in public utility services like water supply, irrigation, electricity, gas, etc. As profit is not quick in these sectors, so the government undertake the responsibility of providing these public utilities through public sector. Industrialization. When we talk about industrialization, the economic growth of the country depends upon the industrial development, and industrial development depends upon the basis and heavy industries. These industries require huge capital outlay, and private sector hesitates to invest in basic and heavy industries due to long gestation period, and they do not bring quick profits. So the government set up the basic and heavy industries under public sector in order to provide the basic infrastructure for industrialization. Changing role of public sector. Government policy toward the public sector since 1991 are as follows. Government of India introduced 4 major reforms in public sector in its new economic policy of 1991. These are restructure and revive potentially viable public sector units, close down the public sector unit which cannot be revived, which cannot be set up. As you know, public sector unit, many of the were not for getting financial help because most of they were just goes and their working was disturbed, so they were considered as sick units. Bring down the government equity non-strategy public sector unit to 26% or lower if necessary. Fully protect the interest of workers. The steps taken to achieve the above mentioned elements are as follows. Reduction in the number of industries for public sector from 17 to 3. In industrial policy of 1956, there were 70 industries reserved exclusively for public sector. In 1991 industrial policy, the number was reduced to 8, and in 2001 it has been reduced to 3. These are the atomic research, railways, and the defense. Railways and the defense, that is arms. This means after 2001 the private sector could enter in all the area except the 3 industry which is of the government. Government realized that if we all allow private sector in most of the sectors, this will encourage even public sector to perform better when they have to compete with the private sector. Disinvestment of shares of a select set of public sector enterprise. Disinvestment referred to sale of equity shares of public sector units to private sector and public. The government decided to withdraw its holding from public sector units and encourage more participation of private sector in managing public sector units. It was expected that it will improve managerial efficiency of public sector the primary objective of privatization are releasing the large amount of public funds blocked in these units and utilizing them for other social priority projects such as education, health, etc. Reducing debt and interest burden, transferring the risk from public sector to private sector, reducing the government control, discouraging government monopoly, example telecom industries. Policy regarding SEC units to be the same as that for the private sector. All the laws making public sector enterprises were handed over to BIFR, that is Board of Industrial Financial Reconstruction Units. This was decided by the this was organized by the government to wind up some very sick units and to revive and rehabilitate some other sick units where there is scope to convert them into healthy units. But those units which cannot be recovered, they has to be stopped. There was lot of opposition shown by the worker because if the industry will be stopped, they will lose the job. Employees of units which were decided to be closed down. So the government of India set up one more organization, that is National Relief Fund or Association, to rehabilitate and compensate the workers and offer them various voluntary retirement schemes. There are many enterprises which are very sick and the government is not in a position to feed them anymore. That is why the government has to take hard step of closing these units after providing safety to the workers of these units through National Renewal Fund. Memorandum of Understanding. Under MOU, the public sector is given greater freedom. They are given the targets to achieve this target. These units are granted operational freedom, but they are accountable for not achieving the result on time. Through MOU, the unnecessary interference of minister can be reduced and more autonomy is granted to these units, but they are held accountable for specific results. So this was the student changing role of public sector. Next class we will be going to learn the multinational company. Thank you for today's class. Have a nice day.